I'm not going to do a full song, but I do want to knock on the door. And importantly, I want to do a smudge. I would like to do the whole audience, but that's going to take a while. Ani Buju Tanzi Sego, welcome everyone. Anashnabi Ajini Kajuan, Nojmo Mashkogia, Shingichi Manadu, Mishu Pishu, Nin Shani, Lakota, Potawatomi, Ojibwe, Algonquin, Mississauga, Minwa Mohawk. I'm also a pipe carrier, a sun dancer, sweat lodge leader, and I belong to the Eagle Society and the False Face Society. And, today I'm here in honor of the residential school children, survivors, and the ones who couldn't make it home. And also just here to walk alongside the people in this church. It's such a huge transformation from when I was growing up here in the 60s, It was a very different attitude towards Indigenous people. So I'm very happy that things are changing, and I'm glad to be part of it too. So I have a few things I want to say. I greet all of you with respect and warmth on this Orange Shirt Day. I begin by honoring the land we are standing on, the land that has been the home to Mississaugas of the Credit, Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat peoples, and to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis communities today. The land is covered by Treaty 13, also known as the Toronto Purchase, of which, if you look on that original document at the top, the signatures for the Indigenous leaders, it says Chichok. That's my great-great-grandfather. I'm really connected, because my other great-grandfather is Tecumseh. So I have a lot of really important connections in history. These are not just words. They were bones of our ancestors' rest. Their voices still move, the winds where the waters still carry their prayers. Today on Orange Shirt Day, we remember the children who never came home from residential schools. We remember those who survived, carrying scars both seen and unseen. We remember families broken apart, languages stolen, ceremonies forbidden, and we gather in a church, a place that was not always open to us, to say together, every child matters, every teaching matters, every fire matters. I also want to thank Reverend Jason Myers for the leadership of the church and all of you, the congregation, for opening the doors to our hearts. It's not a small thing to make this sanctuary a place of ceremony, of truth-telling and healing. To honor Norval Morrisseau, those vision continues to guide us, and I thank the Norval Morrisseau estate for entrusting me with a sacred responsibility. My name is Philip Cote. I am from Moose Deer Point First Nations. I am the artist, muralist. I carry responsibilities as a pipe carrier, a sun dancer, a sweat lodge leader. I walk as a spiritual elder, and I carry teachings given to me by my ancestors. This morning I want to share with how 6 panels of Man Changing into Thunderbird, reimagined, are not simply paintings. They are a ceremony. They are a continuation of fire lit in Norval Morrisseau's time, the 7th fire. They speak to us now in the time of the 8th fire. My hope is that I will share will reach your minds and clarity in your hearts with warmth, so that we might walk together in purpose. Remembering Norval Morrisseau. In 1977, Norval Morrisseau painted Man Changing into Thunderbird. This was not a decoration for a wall. It was a living teaching set into paint. Norval was saying, the old ways are alive. The Thunderbird still walks with us. The spirits are still speaking, and I am listening. Norval was known as the Copper Thunderbird, a name given to him in ceremony. The name was not simply a label. It was a responsibility. It meant he carried the voice of the Thunderbird into his life and into his art. His paintings were not made for galleries alone. They were shields, scrolls, visions, and ceremonies. He stood at the threshold, a doorway between two worlds. On one side, colonialization and erasure, and on the other side, resurgence in Indigenous law. Story and spirit, he chose to stand in that doorway that bring back the teachings, no matter the cost to himself. He painted during the time we called the Seventh Fire, and when our people were beginning to reclaim language, ceremony, and law after generations of being silenced. When we look at Man Changing into Thunderbird, we're not just seeing colors and lines, we are watching a human being torn open by spirit, reshaped by vision, transformed into Thunderbird. It is a deeply personal Norval's own awakening, and is also profoundly collective. He was painting for all the people. For Indigenous nations, his message was, you are not forgotten. The teachings are still here. For settler people, his message was, the door is open, the fire is burning. Will you come and sit by it? The heart of this work is this: transformation is not only personal, it is collective. It is calling for an entire society to awaken, to return, to become responsible to one another and to creation. Almost 50 years after Norval's painting, the estate of Norval Morrisseau placed something sacred in my hands. 6 archival giclée reproductions of the 1977 masterpiece, not to preserve as a static objects, but to continue living ceremony. I did not simply pick up a brush, I entered the ceremony. I smudged, I offered tobacco, I prayed, I asked Norval to guide my hands, to listen to the fire. I listened to the ancestors, and I heard this instruction: this work is not finished, continue it. So I began to paint, and I added lines drawn from my own teachings. I shifted and balanced colors to reflect ceremony, alignment, medicine wheel understandings, and the cycles of the moon. I brought forward animal helpers, teacher beings who were asked to be seen. Some elements were softened, others intensified, but Thunderbird remained at the center, not a static figure, a force in motion. I want to say this clearly: these are not copies. They are not made to replace Norval's original. They are conversations with it. They are continuations. These aren't paintings in the Western sense. They are lodges, scrolls, and the next layer of story. The work moved from Norval's time to the 7th fire into ours, the 8th fire, where the chaos belongs to all of us. Speaking the 6 panels. Before I speak of the 6 panels, I invite you to breathe and listen with your whole being. These are not puzzles to solve, they are teachings to receive. Now, as I describe each one, imagine not only what the painting shows, but what the spirit within it asks of you. Panel 1. Here you see ground already on fire, orange flame alive. Before a step is taken, the figure stands upright, heart alive, spirit intact. He carries the ancestors with his body. He's not only himself, he is all of us in a moment of awakening. The canoe nose enters, pointing the way, allows this separation. Birds as messengers, fish guard the waters, our first home. Plants breathe, medicine. This is first calling the awakening, the recognition that the fire alive and we are all being summoned. Panel 2, the journey begins. Now the canoe stretches larger, longer, spirits, animals, and teachings above the land. Blue spirit hand rises, guidance from the ancestors older than memory. Movement begins. Here we choose to step in it together. The canoe itself is a ceremony. No one paddles alone. It teaches cooperation, patience, and endurance. It says to the settlers, you too must paddle. You too must learn the rhythm of the water. Fire burns around us, but fire also purifies. Fire makes visible. The panel speaks to the first movement of collective journey. And as the canoe moves, so too does the story. It carries us into the next vision. The third panel, the teachers appear. Look now, 3 shadow beings rise, each holding circles of light, spirit elders and knowledge keepers who await until we could hear. Beneath the canoe swim 2 great fish. They speak of continuity, of laws of water, of life endures. Here fire itself is the teacher. Mishkodinesian, I am called fire. Morrisseau painted a teary transformation. Here I show instruction. The circle opens, humility is asked of us. Indigenous and settler peoples alike are summoned. Will you accept teaching or close your ears? The white animals remind us truth cannot stay hidden. The lessons are visible. The canoe moves forward, again guided by those teachings. The fourth panel, the threshold of power. In this panel, the man, his chest is alive, the birds and turtles. At his side, the white bear appears, the messenger of the future, above spirit eyes open, reaching to passage. The fire now cleanses and prepares, where Norval painted ordeal. I paint abundance, turquoise, yellow, white. This is the doorway of choice, peace and renewal, or destruction. The bear tells us the earth is watching. The eyes remind us the spirits are watching. The fire asks with love and urgency, which road will you take? And we must pause here because this is the very moment of decision. So the fifth panel, metamorphosis. Now the transformation of us, wing breaks open, the body bends and reshapes. The blue spirit hand returns as the forced transformation itself. Birds gather, stitching the worlds together. Where Norval shows chaos, there was flowing. There is flowering. The canoe opens also end to end. This is not one man becoming a Thunderbird, but it is of us all, Indigenous and settler alike, carrying through the fire into change. The birds remind us of the continuity. The hand reminds us transformation and also healing. We have come too far to go back. The sixth panel, Thunderbird fulfilled. Finally, we come to the Thunderbird in its fullness. Wings stretched out across the fire, talons grip, the eyes blaze with a vision, and the chest multicolored squares, lodges of knowledge of generations to come. The canoe is absorbed into the Thunderbird's body, the vessel and spirit unify. Norval's Thunderbird was radiant yet solitary. Mine is luminous and collective. This is not the fulfillment of our destiny. This is a renewal of many, and we choose the sacred path, and we walk together, Indigenous and settler, in peace, balance, and truth. The eighth fire is lit, and we are being asked to carry it. The eighth fire teaching. Our teachings tell us that at the time of the eighth fire, all people must choose. One road leads to division and destruction. The other road leads to unity, healing, and renewal. This is not a story about the past. This is about right now. The fire burning in our feet. The ancestors are watching. The spirits are watching. The world is watching what we decide. The white animals have appeared, and they cannot be hidden. They remind us that truth will not remain buried. Fire makes truth visible. And the canoe waits. The canoe carries all the people. It does not belong to one nation or one tradition. It carries everyone, Indigenous and settler, human, to more humanity. The birds and fish, plants and water and winds. But the canoe is not only a symbol, it is a responsibility in a canoe. No one can still expect to reach the far shore. Everyone must paddle. Everyone must learn and the rhythm of the water. If settlers refuse to paddle, the canoe drifts, spins, and stalls. And if the Indigenous people are asked to paddle alone, we will not reach the other shore. The eighth fire allows no separation. And this is not an abstract. This eighth fire is about clean water in Indigenous communities. It is about every child having safety and dignity. And it is about truth in every city. On this very street, in Orange Shirt Day reminds us that every child matters. And also, every fire must be tended. If even one flame is extinguished, the whole canoe drifts off course. The teaching is not meant to frighten us, it is meant to awaken us. It tells us that healing is possible, that unity is possible, that different society can be born if we walk together. But the choice is ours. Each person here, each family, each nation, we are the generation of the eighth fire, spoken of. And the question before us, simply but not easy, which road will we take? So, closing words and a blessing. When I painted these 6 panels, I was not trying to be Norval Morrisseau. I was honoring the road he laid down. Someone had to keep walking, and so I did. These paintings are not mine to possess. They belong to the ancestors, to the ones not yet born. They are here for the next 7 generations. One day, a young person will walk into the sanctuary like this, standing before these paintings, and know we were never erased. We were always here, and the fire never went out. And I want to say to the children who may be here today, you belong. You are part of this fire. And to the elders, your resilience in this reason, the fire still burns. And to Reverend Jason Myers, to the leadership of the church, and to you, this congregation, by opening your doors, you have joined your story to ours. So let us forward this dignity with courage and with peace in our hearts. Let us walk together in the light of the eighth fire. Let this be your prayer. Walk with courage. Walk with dignity. Walk with peace. Because the Thunderbird's still saying something. And if you listen, your whole being may remember what your spirit already knows, miigwech. Nindinoe Maganiduk, which means we are all related. Oh. Can I? I'm going to do a song. This is not for me, even though I like singing. This is for the ancestors, and like when I hit that drum in the beginning, it was calling them. So this is the song for them. Tonka Sheila Pila Maya Tonka Sheila Pila Maya Pila Maya Pila Maya Chanu Pawan Maya Kucha Pila Maya Tonka Sheila Pila Maya Tonka Sheila Pila Maya Pila Maya Pila Maya Chanu Pawan Maya Kucha Pila Maya Tonka Sheila Pila Maya Tonka Sheila Pila Maya Pila Maya Pila Maya Chanu Pawan Maya Kucha Pila Maya Tonka Sheila Pila Maya Tonka Sheila Pila Maya Pila Maya Pila Maya Chanu Pawan Maya Kucha Pila Maya Oh, miigwech matakuasa na kishni oikasa tankashla oyete omie maye pila maya matakuasa in all my relations. Oh.